Good morning, all my students. How are you? I hope you are very well. Today we will start to um, explain grammar and we will explain present simple tense. At the beginning, we want to know what is the present simple tense and how we express our daily life actions in present simple and when we can use this tense. Okay, we use present simple tense in two um, actions. The first one was the fact that happens around us, like when the sun rises. When the sun rises, we can use the present simple tense because this action happens regularly or daily. We can say the sun rises every morning. Okay. And we can use it also with the actions we do it frequently or regularly. Like I go to school by bus. Um, they wake up at 7 o'clock. Okay. Here we will present the form of present simple to know how to use this tense. We have two parts here. The first one is with the pronoun I, we, they, or you. And the second part is when we use he, she, or it, or any singular noun. The first one, or the first part, we put the subject, I, we, they, you, or any singular noun. And we put after that the verb in infinitive form. We didn't add anything to the verb. Like if we say here, this example, they usually play football at club. They usually play football at club. We use the pronoun or subject they and the verb play main verb. Okay. Second part, if you use he, she, or it, or a singular noun, we use the form infinitive of the verb, but we add these endings, es, or ies, or s. We will start with es, and the question we have now. When can I add es or ies or s? Okay, let's read this sentence. Es if the verb, we can add es if the verb ended with ch, sh, ss, s, x, or o. So if the verb ends with these endings, we will add es. If the sentence begins with a singular noun or he, she, it as a pronoun. Like this, verbs watch, it will be watches. Wash, it will be washes. Pass, passes. Mix, mixes. Go, goes. So I can say she goes to school on foot. And if we have these examples, we can see that he often goes to work by bus. My father always watches TV. It sometimes works at night. Rana never comes by her car. Okay, when we can add IES, the second one, if the verb ended with letter Y and the letter before is consonant, not vowel. Again, if the verb ended with Y, yeah, and the letter before is the consonant. Like the verb try, this is the infinitive form. It will change to tries with singular noun. The sentence will be he tries. Okay. The last one is when we add s to the verb with the singular noun. We add s with all other verbs, especially if the verb ended with e. If the verb doesn't end with ch, sh, ss, x, or o, or if the verb doesn't end with y and the letter before is consonant, we will automatically add s, especially when the verb ends with e. Like this sentence, it never scares me. The main verb is scare in the infinitive form. It will be changed to scares by adding s at the end of the verb. Okay. One of the key words or to express about present simple is adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency. We use them when we want to express about how many times or we do this action. If we wanted to put it in order, we will put it like this. We will start with always the 100%. We use always when we do this action daily, weekly, or yearly, monthly, but we do it at the same time in the same way. Usually, we use usually when we frequently do this action. I often go to school on foot, but today I'll go by bus. That express that I go to school on foot all the school days time, but today I have an exception, so I will go by bus. Often it's less than usually, you can use it to do about the actions you do frequently, but it's less than usually. Sometimes if you do this action 1 or 2 or 3 times and at the other days you haven't to do this action. Like if we say we sometimes play tennis in the club. We sometimes play tennis in the club. That means we play tennis. We play tennis in the club, and the other time we play other sports in the club. Like if I say we sometimes play tennis in the club, but I don't like to play tennis today. Hardly ever we use it when you rarely do this action. Oh, I hardly ever walk under the sun. I hardly ever walk under the sun. That means that I don't like to walk under the sun, but I do it 1 time or 2 at most. The last one is 0% that you don't do this action at all. Like when we say Ahmed never makes noise in the class. Ahmed never makes noise in the class. That means that Ahmed is a polite student and he doesn't make noise in the class at all. Okay, let's see the examples and the adverbs of frequency where we can put it before the verb or after the verb, or where we put it in the sentence. They usually play football at club. He often goes to work by bus. My father always watches TV. It sometimes works at night. Rana never comes by her car. If we observe here that we use adverb of frequency where before the verb. Like in sentence number 1, the main verb is play, and we put usually before the main verb play. Often goes, always watches, sometimes works, and never comes. That's right. Okay. The second part of the present simple is the negative form. We use the negative form like we see. We put the subject at the first or at the beginning of the sentence, and we use after that don't or doesn't. We use don't with the pronoun I, we, they, or you, and we use doesn't with he, she, it, or any singular noun. We use subject and don't or doesn't. Don't with I, we, they, you, or any plural noun. Doesn't with the he, she, it, or any singular noun. Then we put the verb of frequency and the verb in infinitive form. Let's explain the examples. Number one, they don't usually play football at club. They don't usually play football at club. We put the pronoun they as subject, and we put don't for negative, usually, okay, and play the main verb in infinitive, and you complete the sentence till the end. He doesn't often go to work by bus. If we put this sentence in affirmative, it will be he often goes to work by bus. So what we did, we put the pronoun, our subject, as it, he, then we put doesn't for negative, then we put the adverb of frequency as the form said, then we put the verb in infinitive form go, and complete the sentence. So we changed the verb goes to doesn't go. Okay. Number three, my father doesn't always watch TV. If we put this sentence in the affirmative form, my father always watches TV. When we change it to the negative form, it will be my father doesn't always watch. We put doesn't because of my father pronoun is singular noun, and we put the adverb of frequency always. Then we changed the verb to the infinitive form without adding anything like we see watch. The last one, Rana never comes by her car. Here we didn't put don't or doesn't. So what happened? Okay, never here, as we said when we explain the adverb of frequencies meaning, the adverbs of frequency meaning, never means you don't do this action at all. So when we put never, the verb will come in its form. We will not change it to the infinitive one. Like this, Rana never comes, because never equals don't or doesn't. So we can't use don't or doesn't with never. Okay, the second part of the grammar here will be the question. We have two parts of the question. The first one is yes or no question, and we will talk about it now. Do, does, at the first of the question, we put do or does. Do with the singular noun and with the plural noun, sorry, and does with the singular noun. please pay attention. Then we put subject regarding to the singular or plural noun, do or does. Then we put adverb of frequency, and we put the verb in infinitive form. Complete the question you write. When you answer this question or this kind of question, your answer will start with yes or no. You put yes, subject, plus do or does regarding to the subject. No, subject, don't or doesn't. Here is an example. Number 1, do they usually play football at club? We put do, then the subject, and the adverb of frequency, the main verb in infinitive form, and we completed the question. Answer with yes, yes they do, or no they don't. Who can read the second sentence? Okay, the second question. Okay, go on. Does she always come by bus? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Does in the beginning of the question. The subject, we put the subject, and after that, we put the adverb of frequency, then the verb in infinitive form, and the answer will be yes or no. Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. We can use here any singular noun. Okay, the second part of question form is to begin with question word. There is nothing to change, but we put at the first of this form, we will put here the question word. Question word like what? Like what, where, when, which, or how many, how much, how far. Like these question words. We put the question word at the first of the question, then we put do or does related to the subject, okay, and the adverb of frequency, then the verb in infinitive form. Who will read the first example? Okay, yeah, come on. When do you usually get up? When is the question word? Do is the helping verb related to the subject you, and usually is the adverb of frequency, and the main verb is get up. Okay, the second one, Ahmed. Okay. How does she always come to school? Could you explain it? Okay. How is the question word? Does is the helping verb related to the subject singular noun she. Always the adverb of frequency, comes the main verb. Okay, thank you. Then we will go to the present simple with verb to be. One of the important parts in explaining the present simple, when we use the verb, we can't deny how is verb to be comes with the present simple. When we use the verb to be, the sentence will be changed. Why? Because verb to be has special case in the sentence. As we said in the beginning, when we talk about the adverb of frequency, the adverb of frequency comes before the verb, the main verb. But when we use the verb to be, like am, is, or are, the adverb of frequency comes after verb to be. That's the exchange. Okay, let's read this note. Adverb of frequency comes before main verb like this sentence. They usually play on Fridays. Here with adverb of frequency comes before the main verb play. Comes after verb to be. But with verb to be, as we said, it comes after a it. Pupils are verb to be always absent on Fridays. Pupils are always absent on Fridays. Then we put the first are as the verb to be in present simple. Then we put the adverb of frequency here is always. Okay. What about the negative form and the question, yes or no question, and the question word? We do all these parts of sentence as we do in the main verb. In the negative form, she isn't. We put not for the negative form. She isn't always awake at 6 o'clock. Here also, always or the adverb of frequency comes after verb to be. But if it's the main verb, they don't usually play on Fridays. Okay. Yes or no question. Is Sally always awake at 7 o'clock? Yes, she is. No, she isn't. Okay, with the question word, when is she always awake? We put the question word, then verb to be, and the subject related to the verb to be, singular or plural, and we put the verb of frequency and complete the question. Okay. The last thing we will talk about is when we use the adverbial phrase. What is the adverbial phrase? That what will we explain in the next part. Adverbial phrase. What is the meaning of adverbial phrase? Adverbial phrase is two words you use or more, one or two or more words to express about the tense. They can come together. Like if I said 3 times. That means that I do this something 3 times a day, 3 times a week, 3 times a month. Okay, like I do this action on Saturday, then I do this action again on Monday, then I do this action again on Wednesday. So I did this action 3 times. Okay. One of these verbal phrases also once, twice, or you can add any number with times. How we use it in the sentence with present simple like this. I visit my friends once a week. That means I do this action only one time per a week. He plays video games twice a day. It equals what? It equals he. We can say it in another way. He plays video games 2 times a day. So here 2 times equal twice. They go to school 5 times a week. That's the adverbial phrases. We can use it to express about present simple. Okay. Is it clear all the parts of present simple? Anyone have a question? Okay, that's good. Let's go to the question, and we have some questions to do. Who want to participate? Okay, Django, who will answer the rest? Okay, Jan, the first one. Choose the correct answer. Okay, go on. Does Ali usually, ever, sometimes, always study? Because he always gets bad marks in exams. Okay, what will be your answer? You will use usually. Okay, does I usually study because he always gets bad marks in exams? Correct. Incorrect. Why? Because he said here, because he always gets bad marks in exams. So he do this something daily or frequently. Okay. Uh, does Ali ever study? Ever we use it as the form never, but in the question. Does Ali ever study? So he doesn't study at all, so he always gets bad marks in exams. Okay, thank you. Second one, Rami. Okay, go on. We never throwing to throw rubbish on the floor. We never throw. Excellent, thank you. We use here throw because of the subject we as a plural noun, and we should put the verb in infinitive form. Third one, okay. Ahmed, okay, go on. Hamid visits his grandparents twice, once, time a month. Yes, that's right. Hamid visits his grandparents 2 times a month. Why? Because 2 times equal in the meaning twice. Okay, thank you very much. The last question. Who will do it? Okay, Sally, come on. Which verb is used in the following sentence? He is a terrible cook. He always burns the food. Present continuous, past simple, present simple. Yes, that's clear. Present simple, because in the first one we use is as the verb to be in present simple to express about present simple. He always burns, because burns here we add s to the verb because of the subject he. Thank you very much. Now we have a quiz. You have to do it in paper, then I will collect it to have your marks. You have 2 minutes to do this quiz now. Okay, go on. Okay, thank you, my students. Now we will have the correct answer. Number one, which adverb of frequency shows an event that happens regularly. Hardly ever, sometimes, often, never. Okay, it will be often, letter B, because often, as we said, that event or action happens regularly. 2, which words class is used in the following sentence? Salma always feeds the cats in the street. Adverb of manner, adjectives, adverb of frequency, verb. Adverb of manner. Okay. Adverb of frequency, sorry. Adverb of frequency. Okay. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can text me. Thank you very much. See you next session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.